It's no secret that the NBA is filled with stars, from LeBron and AD over in La La Land to Doncic down in Dallas. However, perhaps the player that has made the biggest impact on the NBA season is Ja Morant. From his high-flying acrobatics down to his savvy playmaking ability, it's hard to miss the man from Memphis. That being said, one of the best ways to truly evaluate a player's talent level and the impact they're having on their team is by judging what his or her peers have to say about him. Taking this into account, keep watching to learn more about what NBA players really think of Ja Morant. James Harden. James Harden is a 10-time All-Star, a 6-time All-NBA First-Team recipient, and was the MVP of the league back in 2018. Simply put, he's easily one of the greatest basketball players of all time. As such, his knowledge of the game is at an all-time high, so to get recognized by the beard is a massive accomplishment to say the least. Following a loss to Harden's former team, the Houston Rockets, in November of 2019, Harden was asked what his thoughts were on the young Morant, to which he said the following.
He's aggressive. You know, as a young guy in this league, some guys can tend to be like, nervous or whatnot. He has no nervous at all. He's aggressive. He's on full attack mode. And then, mistakes are going to happen, obviously. He's young, but I love his aggressiveness. Obviously, he's confident in shooting the basketball and then getting to the paint. And that's when he allows his teammates to create opportunities. So, bright future for him, and he just continue to get more.
Being that these comments were made over 2 years ago and Ja Morant is arguably the face of the league in 2022, it appears as though Harden did pretty well with his prediction. At least better than his departure from Houston or his tenure in Brooklyn. Luka Doncic. Another superstar that had some pretty high praise for the Murray State product was the Dallas Mavericks' Luka Doncic, who had this to say when asked what makes Ja such a unique talent in the NBA.
I mean, he's just a different player, he's special. I think he's very talented. His athleticism is above everything. He jumps out of the gym, but he's very talented, and he's going to be a great player.
These comments were made over a year ago, but recently Doncic upped the ante following Morant's miraculous 50-point game against the San Antonio Spurs at the end of February. I saw the dunk and the last-second buzzer beater. Amazing. He's been playing amazing this season, MVP level. Everybody saw this season what he is, and he's an unbelievable player, unbelievable skills, and so much fun to watch. It's good to see the two future faces of the association share some mutual praise for one another, especially because they might not be so friendly in years to come. Kevin Durant. Another face of the NBA, Kevin Durant, shared his thoughts on the young point guard following a brutal loss to the Memphis Grizzlies at home back in early January. After the game, a reporter asked Durant his opinion on the Grizzlies star guard, with the Durantula stating the following.
He's just controlling the games. Always been an efficient player who can run the point guard spot. He's developed into a major scorer as well. He just plays with great pace out there, plays with joy and enthusiasm. And you see him blossoming in front of our eyes. Since college, he's been on this trajectory, As a basketball fan, you can't wait to see what it's like years going forward.
Morant finished the game with 36 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists, and has since been on an absolute tear around the association. So it's safe to say that his trajectory, as Durant put it, is only continuing to climb at a rapid pace. LeBron James. Much like KD, LeBron James knows all NBA talent when he sees it, and has shown how impressed he is with Ja's incredible feats on multiple occasions. Just over a month ago, Ja pulled off one of the craziest moves ever witnessed on a basketball court, skiing in for an epic chase-down block on the Los Angeles Lakers' Avery Bradley. When asked about the play on Avery Bradley, James said the following.
Obviously it starts with timing. And also just, stalking your prey, and that's exactly what Ja was doing, that whole play, and I seen it happening. Didn't know he was going to do it in that fashion, but, he got rockets in his calf muscles, and it was a spectacular play. It was a great play. Salute.
Being that LBJ is the self-proclaimed king of the NBA, this is about as high of admiration anybody could hope to get from the potential GOAT, Paul George. Paul George has been one of the most heavily criticized players in the NBA for well over a decade. From his lackluster playoff performances to just falling apart in crucial moments in the game, it's safe to say that Playoff P is not overly well respected in a few notable NBA cities around the country. That being said, he's still one of the most talented players in the league and has accomplished a good amount over his 11-year NBA career, which is why when he makes a comparison like he did with Ja Morant to a former All-NBA talent, everybody should take notice.
I mean, he's just explosive. You know, he's explosive. You know the direction he wants to go. He wants to go left. We knew that. But he's just so good and so fast and still gets to it. He's just explosive, electrifying. You know, I compare him to like D Rose. You know, I guarded him my rookie year in Indy, Chicago, and guarding him again or guarding Ja is very similar to how D Rose was, which is how quick, you know, his ability to change directions, move his body in the air. You know, he made it tough for us. He put a lot of pressure on us.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. If there is one NBA player on this list who knows what it's like to evolve from an underrated role player into a basketball phenomenon in a small market nevertheless, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was drafted 15th overall in 2013 and has since won 2 MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and an NBA championship, as well as an NBA Finals MVP. Giannis was recently asked at a media conference during the 2022 All-Star Game in Cleveland his thoughts on the young Memphis guard, and he stated the following.
I've seen Ja, like he's improved every single year. Like he's having an unbelievable year this year. Crazy. I know that he's a very humble kid. I know he works extremely hard, and you know, like, why not? Like, why he cannot win a championship in Memphis? Like, I think that a lot of people think that it cannot be done. You know, and that's something that he should like literally consider. Like, a lot of people think that he cannot do it. Like, that for me, that motivates me even more. You know, when people think like you got to go to a big market to win a championship, you got to join this guy to win a championship, you got to do that, this, to be able to, be in the top. But it's not necessarily true. You just got to do what makes you happy.
Steph Curry. Ja Morant and the greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry, have had their fair share of internet battles since Morant entered the league in 2019. But during an interview back in May 2021, Curry had just faced off against Morant for the first time and gave a hilarious answer on what it's like to guard Ja Morant.
I guard point guards from time to time, Marcus. Well, you can't get a feel for somebody until you play them, so might as well. I was locked in.
In which Ja had tweeted out an emoji backing his teammate Dylan Brooks' comments on former Warrior turned Grizzly Andre Iguodala wanting to sit out the rest of the season unless traded out of Memphis, to which Steph posted an Iggy championship pic on Instagram, and then Ja came back with the pic of KD holding the championship trophy. A good old-fashioned social media banter between the two for sure, to which Curry responded in the interview,
I see everything, so I love to have some fun with it, brother.
While I'm sure Curry has since changed his attitude towards Morant, who is currently competing for a league MVP this season, this moment made for some good comedy and was a classic Steph moment that showed his true pettiness. LaMelo Ball. Despite both players being in the NBA for just over 2 and 3 seasons, respectfully, LaMelo Ball and Ja Morant have some pretty epic matchups to say the least. In such a short period of time, the two have gone back and forth numerous times in the association, and while there have yet to be any words minced between the two superstar guards, there have been some pretty gritty moments between them on the court, not the least of which took place just weeks ago on February 12th in the game between the Memphis Grizzlies and Charlotte Hornets, in which the Hornets lost narrowly at home. Near the end of the game, Ball can be seen attempting to steal the ball off Morant and his teammates with the play clock winding down, and no chance of getting the win. If you look closely, you can see that Ja wasn't overly pleased with LaMelo's antics. So, while neither has stated anything negative towards the other as of yet, it's pretty safe to assume that they aren't actually fans of each other. Draymond Green. While maybe not as big as a superstar as other names on this list, Draymond Green has proven to be one of the most well-respected and knowledgeable players in the NBA. He has also been on Team Morant for some time now and has had a good opportunity to voice his opinions through his work with ESPN and various media platforms. In fact, most recently he was on JJ Redick's podcast called The Old Man and the Three, in which he was asked who the smartest players he's ever played against are. And you may or may not be surprised to see who cracked the list.
The smartest players I've played against is by far LeBron, Rajon Rondo, and Chris Paul. When I'm playing it, and who's creeping up into that category is Ja Morant. Everybody is excited about how Ja Morant flies around. Everyone's excited about the passes he may throw, how he can run full speed with KD, leave KD a little bit and jump like that running full. All of those things are very exciting. Don't get me wrong, they excite me too. But the thing that excites me most about Ja Morant is when we're playing against the Memphis Grizzlies, and not quite to the level of LeBron James or Chris Paul or Rajon Rondo, but when we're playing against those guys, I can feel the chess match. Like every possession down, they're looking at me, scoping me out to see where I'm at. I'm looking at their guys and what they're doing to try to see what they're trying to get into. And every time down the floor, it's like a chess match. It's like that with Ja.
What makes this statement so amazing isn't just that it's coming from an NBA player who is knowledgeable on the game and understands what he's talking about, but also that he's putting Ja into a conversation that most don't necessarily think of when they look at Morant. Most people are in awe of his remarkable athletic accomplishments and jaw-dropping numbers, and for good reason, but few consider him to be a high IQ basketball player. Not to say he isn't, but he rarely gets that level of appreciation, which speaks still to how underrated he is as a player. And with that, we have concluded our video on what NBA players really think of the internet sensation that is Ja Morant. Before you leave, feel free to drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's video or what you'd like to see for next time. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss any new content I post. Until next time.